Marcus Reno was a career military officer who served in the American Civil War and the Great Sioux War. He is most known for his role in the Battle of Little Bighorn, where he was a senior officer serving under George Armstrong Custer. Reno's actions during the battle were controversial, and he was later court-martialed and dismissed from the Army. Despite this, Reno's legacy was reevaluated, and he was posthumously awarded an honorable discharge and buried with honors in the Custer National Cemetery. Interestingly, Reno wrote a letter detailing his account of the Battle of Little Bighorn, which has become a significant historical resource and a valuable insight into the events of that fateful day. After General Custer ordered us to attack the Indian village, we moved forward about 1.5 miles. We heard gunfire along the way. When we encountered the Indians, there were too many of them, so we had to dismount and fight on foot. We fell back to a nearby hilltop, where we had left our horses and mules. The men took cover behind bushes and prepared to defend themselves. This was around 5:30 p.m. The Indians attacked us in large numbers, and we fought back throughout the night. Around 9 p.m., they withdrew, and we used our limited tools, like knives, plates, and canteens, to build makeshift trenches. We remained undisturbed until 2:30 a.m. on the 26th, when the Indians launched a fierce attack that lasted until 9:30 a.m. During this time, they also targeted our horse herd from a nearby hill that was out of range of our carbines. At around 8 a.m., the Indians attacked Colonel Benteen's position, but one Indian got too close and was killed before he could count a coup on a dead soldier. With many wounded and no water, we had to act fast. Since the water source was about 600 yards away, Colonel Benteen led a team to fetch water while a skirmish line protected them. Unfortunately, 1 volunteer was killed and 6 were wounded. Despite this, we managed to get water to the wounded. The Indians continued to harass us throughout the day but seemed to be withdrawing. I saw them start a large fire in the valley, creating a massive dust and smoke cloud. They appeared to be using this cover to retreat in military formation towards the Bighorn Mountains, about 30 miles away. Initially, I thought this might be Custer's return, but we had no idea of the tragic fate that had befallen him and his men. The next morning, General Terry arrived with news of Custer's defeat. Colonel Benteen and his company were sent to the battlefield, where they confirmed Custer's loss and identified the bodies of the fallen officers. I was given command of Companies M and G, and General Custer ordered me to advance quickly and charge, promising full support. Colonel Cook, the regiment's adjutant, delivered this order, which was the last instruction I received from Custer. Cook and Captain Keogh accompanied me for a short time, with Keogh saying, "We're all going with the advance, and Miles Keogh is coming too," but after crossing the ford, I never saw them again. I sent a message to Custer warning him of the strong Indian presence, but I continued the charge, assuming he was behind me. As I approached the village, I saw Indians moving behind my left flank. Realizing I was on my own, I dismounted and took cover in a nearby wooded area. I secured my horses and advanced on the village, getting within 200 yards before the Indians emerged in huge numbers. To survive, I had to reach a defensive position, so I charged through the Indians to the bluffs. Later, Colonel Benteen and Captain McDougall joined me with their companies. We had stumbled upon a hidden ford, which we used to reach the bluff. Initially, I had only 112 men and 25 scouts with me. If I hadn't charged to the bluffs, my command would have been destroyed like Custer's. Our biggest mistake was underestimating the Indian forces, which had at least 2,500 warriors, possibly as many as 5,000. The Indians are known for their exceptional light cavalry skills. I've seen many skilled cavalry forces, but the Sioux and Cheyenne warriors are among the best in the world. Captain Anson Mills agreed, impressed by their prowess after being defeated by Crazy Horse at the Battle of the Rosebud. During the Custer battle, Lieutenant Cook showed extraordinary bravery, staying on horseback until the end, even after Custer fell. He led the remaining survivors, launching multiple charges against the Indians. According to Curley, a Crow scout and the only confirmed survivor, the Sioux warriors repeatedly retreated before Cook and his small group, who fought valiantly until they were overwhelmed by sheer numbers. After the Battle of Little Bighorn, Marcus Reno faced harsh criticism for alleged drunkenness, cowardice, and incompetence. Despite this, he took command of the remaining 7th Cavalry, replacing George Custer. An official investigation later cleared him of wrongdoing. However, in 1877, Reno was accused of inappropriate behavior towards another officer's wife, leading to a 2-year suspension. In 1880, he was found guilty of assaulting a junior officer and being drunk on duty, resulting in his dismissal from the Army. Despite efforts to clear his name, Reno died of cancer in Washington, D.C. in 1889. In 1967, a military review board re-examined his case, reviewing original documents and testimony. As a result, his discharge status was changed to honorable. Initially buried in an unmarked grave in Washington's Oak Hill Cemetery, his remains were later reburied in Custer National Cemetery within the Little Bighorn battlefield.